Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube. My name is Brittany. If this is your very first time on my channel, welcome and hello. It's so exciting to have you here. Thank you so much. And before I get started with this video, I just want to so thank each and every one of you who have subscribed to my channel. If you haven't, make sure to, especially if any of this spirituality talk and self-development, personal transformation, and transformative growth just speaks to you. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. It is such a joy for me to create these and connect with you guys as much as I have been in the past few weeks. So thank you. What I want to talk about today is kind of weird. Talk about a lot of kind of weird stuff on my channel. It's something that I've been kind of shy about because I'm just trying to navigate how to make this as relatable and non-threatening as possible. A lot of people think of words like mysticism and spirituality and think that it has to do with really outlandish beliefs or just silliness, not being in touch with reality, or whatever kind of words spring up for you. I'm curious if you can leave them in the comment section down below and let me know how you feel at the end of this video. Even seeing maybe the expressive way that I've clothed myself today. Becoming more connected with myself allows me the confidence to dress myself and adorn myself in whatever way makes me feel like you guys can see my creative spirit on the inside, on the outside, which is why I think it's so important that all of us support each other and realize that if things trigger us and make us uncomfortable, it says a lot more about us than it does about the person that we're criticizing or judging. So without further ado, let's start talking about mysticism and the realm of spirituality. So I realized that a lot of the things that I'm really interested in and love to talk about are sometimes kind of taboo subjects. I feel like a lot of people usually associate the word spirituality with religion. For me, that was one of my biggest saving graces, that I was so excited that I didn't have to align myself with an organized religion in order to have this spirituality that's within me. It was something that I struggled with a lot, actually, and I think something that a lot of people struggle with. All I can do is speak for myself. When I was younger, I was so excited to have that fire for God, and whenever I was growing up, I was raised in a born-again Christian household, and seeing my parents really engulfed in prayer and having a connection with the Holy Spirit really was something that was so cool to me. I think I grew up with a really big imagination. I had imaginary friends and imaginary animals, and I utilized my imagination a lot. So seeing, you know, this realm of people imagining things or having belief or connection with these spiritual things really was enticing to me. And then I grew up. No, I don't want to say it like that. For me personally, as I started growing up in high school, I started feeling distanced from organized religion, and some things started to not make sense to me. It seemed like a very conditional love that was going on in Christianity, and I didn't get it. I didn't get if God was this all-loving, all-creating, all just filled with love being, why there would be a separation between, oh, you get it and you don't get it. You get salvation, you go to hell for eternity. And it just didn't make any sense to me, because I was just like, how is everyone going to come to Christ? How does everyone have to admit that Jesus is their Lord and Savior? What about people in China that grow up with a completely different religion? Like, why is ours right? And I started really thinking about a lot of this stuff when I was in high school, and it didn't resonate with me, Christianity, anymore. So I went almost 10 years without any kind of spirituality at all, and I think that that is a big reason why I was so lost, because my life didn't have connection with spirit, and I didn't have purpose. And so much of what's within us is connection with spirit. Something that really helps all this personal transformation and development is just knowing what's going on inside of our bodies, knowing what's going on around us, knowing what each and every one of us deal with on a day-to-day basis allows us to realize how connected we all are, and how each and every one of us, even though we have different personalities, we're made up of the same stuff. We're made up of a right side and a left side of the brain. Left side is analytical and very masculine and logic, practicality, mathematics. And the right side of the brain is creativity, feminine, energy and unconditional love and creating things and wisdom, empathy, communication, all of those things. So each and every one of us has these different sides of us, and in our society especially, we have come into a very masculine world. So what happens whenever we start seeing these imbalances where feminine energy and creativity and artistry is not so appreciated, and masculine, everyone thinks that we should be running things in a masculine way, my way is the right way, do things the way I do things, you know, government running things, extreme capitalism, and this just huge imbalance. What we're trying to do now, and what we see a lot of people doing with yoga being on the rise and with YouTube coming out, where people all across the world can tune into all these different videos, is we're trying to equalize the balance between masculine and feminine energy so that we can come together and be a more well-rounded and well-balanced world. Because what do we know whenever our minds are imbalanced as well? A lot of us have a really hard time finding purpose and happiness and really living a life that's full of meaning and connectedness whenever we're imbalanced. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do here, is just put forth a different perspective and give you guys a little tidbit of the things that I think about a lot. I'm really excited that I'm able to do this. It's been a really big struggle, and only like in the past week and a half have I really been realizing these imbalances within myself as well. And for me, I'm so full of feminine energy that sometimes I feel really insecure to release it into a world that is so overrun with masculine energy on a platform where there are so many millions of people across the world that have no problem just spraying like hate and negativity all over someone else's creativity, which is so hurtful to a lot of people, especially emotional people like me, highly sensitive people. For any of those who watch Sheer Libby's YouTube, is absolutely amazing. Harmony Nice, who teaches a lot about Wicca. It's through a lot of these different people that just completely embody what their beliefs are and just release it, just state it. They don't feel like they have to convince people of anything. They just let people know how it is that they believe and why they believe in things that way, and then that's it. This whole new step for me is just really, really exciting, and I really love coming into a place where I can share it with you. And since it's so new to me as well, I think that I'm having a little bit of a hard time figuring out how it is that I'm supposed to communicate these big ideas to you guys. And that's another reason that I'm really excited to go to Spirit Weavers Gathering. It's just to be surrounded by so many women that are totally embodying their feminine light that they're radiating to other people, because I do believe that everyone has their own specific gifts to give to the world, and I believe that mine has a lot to do with communication and bringing different perspective to people that maybe don't know how to see it that way. I didn't do a YouTube on it, but a few weeks ago I taught my first wellness workshop, and it was such a huge success. I was so excited. I had no idea how many people were going to show up. We had a few RSVPs, maybe like 16 or 18, but 30 people showed up and we sold out. There were no more seats in the venue, and I was just so excited. And what I was talking about there is my own personal spiritual practices and what I utilize them for, and a lot of the stuff that I talk about here on YouTube. So it's really, really within me to talk to people about stuff like this. Finding meaning and finding life and finding vibrancy and expression in our beings. And for some people, you're maybe wired in a way where those kinds of things literally just don't excite you that much, and that's totally fine too. There are some signs of the zodiac and just different personality types that are pragmatic and practical and logical, and you just don't necessarily tie in with a lot of the creativity. So even if you're watching this right now and you're like, yeah, but doing art or singing or playing piano isn't stuff that has ever resonated with me. What about things like cooking or architecture or photography, fashion designer, being a director? All of these are creative outlets that allow us to, utilize what really, really turns us on the inside and makes us excited. There's all kinds of stuff out there for us. Even if you don't paint or you don't sing or you don't play piano or something that's more seen as artistic in that way, a lot of times whenever it comes to creativity, a lot of people shut themselves down and they say, oh, I'm not good at that. I'm not the best singer. I'm not the best artist. All of this might really be true, but It doesn't matter how good you are at something. All that matters is that you're getting the feelings that you need from that practice. And that's another thing, is that maybe 10% of people are inherently good at the thing that they're really, really passionate about, like a prodigy or something like that. But for everyone else, just like learning anything, learning how to walk, learning how to bike ride, learning how to do anything that becomes common knowledge to us later, we all started at day one, we all started on the first step, and we all have to practice these things if we ever do want to get better. So just sitting back and saying like, oh, I'm not good at that, no one's good at anything whenever they start. That's why I think that it's so much fun getting those first really, really hard steps out of the way, because you're never going to go back to those really, really hard steps again. It's only going to be the first time one time, and then you're going to grow and grow and grow and grow. I think that for the people that really want to put the work in and learn, really benefit a lot from it. Because if you want to give up, then you can just give up, and then you'll just give up on everything that's hard. Just like when I started yoga 3 years ago, I had no idea that I'd ever get to touch my toes or, you know, do a handstand or any of these hard poses. I never thought that I'd be able to do that, because it just seems so outside of my realm of abilities. I was like, I didn't grow up athletic. I'm not good at sports. I can never do that stuff. Even when I told my parents that I was doing yoga and things were hard for me, I remember my mom being one day like, you're just not good at it, and that's okay. Like, I always had parents that kind of gave up on things too, or they didn't necessarily persevere and pursue a whole bunch of different hobbies or interests. So when they told me like, oh, you're not good at things and that's okay, in my mind I was like, what? No, I want to be good at things. I want to try hard. So there's just these differences between people. I think a lot of what it is that I really want to get out of this channel is just to bring forth awareness of just how connected all of us are, of just how alike all of us are. We can always find differences between each other, but why focus on anything that we don't like about somebody else? Whenever we can get to a place where we're looking around and just see all the bliss and beauty and nature and everything, and appreciate this big, beautiful planet that all of us live on, it becomes harder and harder to find pleasure in focusing on dis-ease within our lives and complaining. What do you really have to complain about that you can do something about? So many of us find such hatred and discontentment with how the world functions around us. So my way of dealing with the things that I don't necessarily like that I see all around me, I just focus on my light, and I focus on doing what makes me happy and spreading light and positivity to the people that I'm able to, because really all that we can do is the things that are within our own grasp. We can look at our relationships, we can look at our lives and make our life exactly what we want it to be. We're, I think, becoming a little less enchanted with like, ooh, how like bright and shiny the internet is, and we're really starting to discover what we can use it for, what we can do with it, the ways that we can connect with people. This kind of big, beautiful connection, finding people that really speak to our hearts, finding people that really resonate with our core values, and living a virtuous life if that's what you want. If you love cat memes, there's a ton of those too. I think it's so cool, and I'm so happy that I got on today to share a little bit of my perspective about this. So thank you guys so much, and please let me know if you have any kind of comments, questions, or episode ideas in the comment section down below. I always want to know what you guys are thinking whenever you are watching videos like this. So thank you guys so much, and I love you. I love you. Namaste.